Welcome to the Rebels of the Sacred Earth's YouTube channel. My name is Gabriel Privett. We are an organization dedicated to defending the rights of innocent people, so much so that we have revoked our consent to be governed by declaring ourselves independent of the current corrupt, tyrannically oppressive regime we call a government here in America. If you would like to find out more about our organization, I encourage you to follow this link, and it will also be in the description. If you enjoy the following video, we just ask that you leave a like, a comment, hit the notification bell, and subscribe, for it really helps the cause greatly. And without further ado, I would like to start the next video. Today we're going to be doing a reaction video to some police misconduct videos. Let's get started.
Scott Lawson is a Vietnam vet who ended up with schizophrenia. He was homeless. He had a knife on his person. So he gets arrested going through a small town in Wisconsin. He's actively psychotic. So they put him in isolation. Everyone there called it the hole, which was this little room with no light on it except for one 20-watt bulb that was on 24.
So torture techniques. They subjected this military veteran, this Vietnam veteran, to torture techniques. Isolation, lack of sleep, like this is class. The only thing they didn't do was blast music 24/7. Like I'm sorry, but like that is crazy to me that he was put into a cell with a light that was impossible to turn off, and just because he had a knife on him, is that what I'm supposed to understand? I mean, it makes sense that a military veteran would recognize the utility of a knife. Like, it's a tool. He's homeless. It's reasonable for a homeless veteran to have that tool on them. So if that's why he was arrested, that's incredible. How are we not living in an Orwellian dystopia?
7. The only contact he had with anybody for 67 days was when a jailer would slide food through a tray. He walked out of this with PTSD on top of schizophrenia because of that nonsense.
So he got PTSD from being in this jail cell. And I mean, it doesn't say whether or not he had any from his time in Vietnam, but this clearly made it worse. If he did, if he didn't, then he went through Vietnam, didn't get PTSD, and then this experience is what gave him PTSD. That's terrifying. That the whole should be a human rights violation if that is the effect that is happening. Like, somebody can go through Vietnam, not have PTSD, and then be put in isolation for 2 months and come out with PTSD.
We sued the jail for not getting him medical treatment under Section 1983 in federal court in Madison. My brother, who's a theater designer, built this mock cell to exact dimensions of the hole, and this is how Scott testified. And the questions were, Scott, you're in the cell. What are you thinking? What are you smelling? What's going on in your mind? He was in there for maybe 20 minutes. And then when we had him go back to the stand, the jury wanted a cigarette, whether they smoked or not. It was just like so intense. Jury came back with the biggest verdict in history at the time of $5.6 million.
So one thing I really need to stress is that being paid out a lawsuit is not having justice served, okay? That just means that they paid you so that they could violate your rights. That's all it means. We should not be living in a society where some people have the ability to violate the rights of others just because their bank account is so big. It's absolutely unacceptable. It's not justice. It's not equality. It's a strange system that clearly does not have our best interests at heart.
Since you're making contact with me, could you identify your name and badge number?
I'm Officer Albie.
And your badge number, please?
I don't even know why you're here right now.
I asked you a direct question. Do you have your badge number on
and
you?
I asked you to leave because right now you're not allowed to be on our traffic stop.
Ma'am, if you're...
He's literally making a just request. He's just trying to get the information he needs to be able to accurately identify her. And she's like this hostile about it. She's a public servant. She swore an oath to defend his rights. And this behavior, this attitude, is not the attitude of a public servant. This is not the behavior that we should expect from these kind of professionals. This is a public servant, a professional. And she's walking the streets with this attitude that is akin to power tripping. I mean, look how aggressive she came up. She was coming up with the intention of compelling him into obedience. But thankfully, he knew his rights and he had a camera.
Using to identify your badge number, it might result in a complaint with your department.
Okay, I understand that. My badge number is 639.
Thank you very much.
But I've asked you a question.
At this time, it's not consensual. Thank you.
You're on my traffic stop.
Ma'am, I'm an appropriate distance from your traffic stop. Please go back to work.
Okay, but if something were
Ma'am, go back to work.
harmed,
Go back to work.
then that would fall in our department.
You're a liar. You're an
If
idiot.
you were to get harmed right now, how would that
You're a idiot liar. Now do your job.
So, as soon as he threatens to make this complaint with the department because she's blatantly refusing to give him the badge number, she gets a lot more obedient. She gets a lot more submissive, you know? It's kind of funny. I thought she was totally going to just drop everything, and then she turns around with this, oh, well, if you get hurt right now, our department would be liable nonsense. No, your department is not liable for some random dude standing, minding his own business, exercising his rights. If he gets hurt doing that, it is not on your department. The crazy lies that these cops come up with on the spot is just so strange to me, because that's how used to lying they are. That's how trained to lie they are, that they can just come up with something that sounds perhaps reasonable to an ignorant person. And that's why it's so important to know your rights, so that when they try to give you these lines, you aren't, oh no, is this true? Oh no, I don't know now. Now I'm in this position where I better err on the side of caution and obey and comply. But if you just take the time to understand your rights and learn them, you can act with confidence and know that this type of behavior, you filming a traffic stop, should be met with impunity. You should not get in trouble for exercising your First Amendment right to film the police.
This guy filmed the public areas of a police station in Greer, South Carolina. 3 cops approached him, and when he refused to ID, one of the cops violated his fundamental rights.
Is there any reason why you're videotaping? I'm just curious. You're not in any kind of trouble. There's nothing here other than...
Suspicious activity is not enough for reasonable cause for ID. So suspicious activity, is that a felony or misdemeanor?
That's a misdemeanor.
So often I see videos of people just exercising their First Amendment to just film in public areas, film police stations, film police cars, and like 9 times out of 10 they get harassed like this. The police come out and they start just trying to make it a deterrent, you know, that's what they're doing. They're trying to deter this kind of behavior. They're trying to take away our First Amendment by harassing anybody that decides they want to exercise their First Amendment. So I think these kind of tactics should be recognized for what they are. A roundabout way to take away our rights.
No, it's not.
Yep, go ahead and give me your ID.
Can you call your supervisor to the scene?
I am a supervisor.
I need another one. It's suspicious of felony or misdemeanor.
It's neither one, but he asked.
Oh, okay, thank you. So he said it was a misdemeanor. So now we have a conflict on which one it is.
We don't have a conflict at all.
Yeah, you definitely have a conflict, because now who is he supposed to listen to? Oh, is it a misdemeanor? Is it not a misdemeanor? He's getting different counsel from these cops, and without accurate counsel, how is he supposed to know how to behave? He has no frame of reference for appropriate behavior now, because these 2 professionals don't know what they're doing.
We have a conflict with
Hold on,
the way you're acting,
whoa,
sir.
whoa.
Let me have an ID.
This is the intimidation factor right here.
Let me have an ID, please.
What crime?
That's assault. What this police officer is doing is considered assault. He's invading the personal space of the cameraman. He's with his hand, you know, he's about poking him in the chest. This is straight up assault. If I behaved in this manner towards a police officer, I would get charged with assault on a police officer. I would be in handcuffs and being booked for that charge.
An ID.
What crime have I committed?
An ID.
Whoa.
You got the count of 3
Whoa.
or you're going to jail.
Now you guys see I got
Ready?
one hand on my camera.
1,
Whoa.
2,
Don't shoot
3.
me.
You're under arrest.
He later got released without charges, but for outright denying his individual rights, he sued them and got a settlement.
Again, Getting a settlement is not akin to justice. It's not analogous to justice. It is not justice. There's nothing about getting a settlement that should be something that we are happy about, okay? Because we should be seeking justice. That's what we want. We don't want to be paid when our human rights are violated. We want to be equal. We want to have justice. We don't want these people to have superiority over us, to have this kind of special treatment from the government. No. Being paid out from the taxes of other citizens is not equivalent to justice. It's not. So this is why I advocate for holding police accountable in the streets, because you will not get justice from a court. The only way for us to get justice today is to know what our rights are and to exercise them in the streets. We have the right to justice, and the time has come for us to take it upon ourselves to exercise that right. There's no reason that a group of men who have objective evidence of wrongdoing serving justice should be called vigilantism. There's nothing about that would be vigilantism. They have the evidence. They're just serving justice, especially when the current government is failing to do so. We truly hope that you enjoyed this video presented to you by the Rebels of the Sacred Earth. Once again, we'd like to encourage you to hit the notification bell, the subscribe button, and leave a like and comment, for it truly helps the cause greatly. If you'd like to find out more about our organization, please follow this link. It will also be in the description for convenience sake.